I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Village Board for August 13th, 2024. Would you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
President DeSimone,
Here.
Trustee Franz. Here. Trustee Fry.
Here.
Trustee Lomax.
Here.
Trustee Penicola.
Here.
Trustee Perez.
Here.
At 6.
At this time is a public hearing for general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source of the Village of Bensonville, DuPage, and Cook County, Illinois, in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $2 million. We will now move to the public hearing to discuss the issuance of the general obligation bonds, alternate revenue source, in the amount not to exceed $2 million for the Sesame Street Special Service Area. Village Clerk, would you please call the roll to open the public hearing?
President DeSimone.
Here.
Trustee Franz.
Here.
Trustee Fry.
Here.
Trustee Lomax.
Here.
Trustee Penicola.
Here.
Trustee Perez.
Here.
That's 6.
Would the village manager like to discuss the bond issuance?
Thank you, Your Honor. Pursuant to the Bond Issue Notification Act, a notice of public hearing has been published in the Bensonville Independent on July 15th. Proof of publication will be included with the minutes this evening. Pursuant to the notice, the board is required to hold the public hearing on the proposed issuance of general obligation alternate revenue bonds in the aggregate amount not to exceed $2 million. This will be used to finance and construct certain public capital improvements in Sesame Street Special Service Area, including the full reconstruction of the roadway, installation of new curb gutters, installation of sidewalks, installation of lighting for the purpose of benefiting residents, property owners, visitors, and other members of the public who utilize Sesame Street. The hearing is now opened, and we will receive any public comment from the community who wishes to speak at the hearing.
If any persons would like to speak on the bond issuance, I ask that you please approach the podium and state your name and comment. Seeing none, this will conclude public comment on the bond issuance. Is there any further discussion? Is there a motion to close the public hearing?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
President DeSimone.
Yes.
Trustee Franz.
Yes.
Trustee Fry.
Yes.
Trustee Lomax.
Yes.
Trustee Penicola.
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
That's 6.
Motion carries. Public hearing is now closed. On the public comment, we will move to public comment. Does anyone wish to address the board? If so, please approach the podium and state your name.
Mr. John Bell.
We have been at 980 County Line for 12 years now. And for the past 8 years, an Irishman bought the place. He was going to put his equipment on it until the village turned him down on it. He abandoned the property. He's got a for sale sign on it, but nobody's come by. Once a week, somebody comes by to cut the front grass, but I have pictures here of everything else on his property, which is now bringing critters into my backyard. There's a tree on his property that's dropping branches almost on a daily basis. Some of these are big enough to be hurting my grandchildren. I've been urging and urging this council to do something about it, and nobody has done anything. I'd like to know what can be done. Or do I need to go to court?
First, can you submit those pictures to Curtis for me, please?
Who's Curtis?
Curtis
here in
is
the
here in the middle. Mr. Bell, if, you can also submit your phone number and contact information to Curtis. I'll talk to Curtis about your issues tomorrow, and we'll give you a call back tomorrow with some solutions that we can possibly pursue with you.
Okay, and I also have an issue with the drivers on County Line Road too. This has been going on ever since we've been in the area. They're like daredevils out there. They're doing 60, 65 mile an hour up and down County Line Road. They're using the left turn lane as a passing lane to get around big trucks that are doing the speed limit. Somebody's gonna get killed again. This has already happened once before. It was before our time, but somebody did get killed there, right in front of our house. I don't want to see that again. I've got young grandchildren.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. I'll talk to the Chief of Police, Dan Schultz, about what we can do on the selective enforcement in that area.
Can we put a speed radar trailer on your property, if at all possible?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As long as you don't use it for me. I kind of hit my driveway a little hot.
Thank you, Mr. Bell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
No.
This will conclude public comment. Moving on to approval of the minutes, July 16th, 2024 Village Board meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
You have a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any modifications to our minutes? Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's five.
Motion carries, the minutes are approved. The next item of business is to approve the warrant in the amount of $3,007,912.23. Is there a motion to approve?
You have a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion on the warrant. Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's five.
Motion carries and the warrant is approved. There are no items on the consent agenda. Under Community and Economic Development, there's a resolution authorizing the purchase of ads on Comcast in a not-to-exceed amount of $25,000. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So
Give a
moved.
motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Being a motion and a second, do we have discussion?
Quick point of order, Bells, if you're more than welcome to stay. This can get a little dry. You won't offend us if you leave, though, so.
Talking about-
Yes. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome to. Awesome. All right,
I
Curtis.
just have one quick question. What's the warrant for?
Bills, we pay our bills.
Oh, for like public.
It's not like an arrest warrant.
Sorry?
It's not an arrest warrant.
No, it's the requirement that we have to go through to pay our bills.
No,
So
what
every,
I'm saying is that like the utilities and the employee salaries?
everything from utilities to
Contracts.
contracts to,
Contractors,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, Curtis, can you,
Yeah,
go on this item?
So the ad buys, it's the same thing we did last year with Comcast. It's over 10 grand, so we bring it to the board. This year we are planning on two ad buys using the newer Think Family ad. We're actually going to target. It's called Chicago North, is an area we're kind of targeting first-time home buyers. And then the other one will be run in sort of our area, the Bloomingdale one, similar to what we did last year. So the two ad buys that we're planning to purchase are 10,000 each, and then we've got a little wiggle room in there. We initially had planned on doing another smaller run in the sports segment like we did last year. We're still not sure if we're going to do that or not. Maybe towards the end of the year, but we left a little wiggle room in case.
I gotta say, it's cool seeing us on Sunday Night Football.
Well, and I think it's an opportunity for us too. We know people are leaving the city in droves, especially young families, and if we can use that to help support our housing market here in Bensonville, then it's money well spent.
I agree. Any questions from the board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's five.
Motion carries, the resolution is approved. Under Public Works, resolution authorizing the execution of change order number 1, final, for the rental of an emergency backup generator for wastewater treatment plant for an increase of $34,275 for a revised amount of $106,275. Is there a motion?
You have a
Do I have
motion.
a second?
Second.
Being a motion and a second, Joe, do we have discussion?
Yeah, so we recently completed the installation or the replacement of the two generators at our wastewater treatment plant. Everything went really well for us on that. If you recall, way back in August of '22, we approved a contract for an emergency backup. This is kind of a mobile generator unit. We used that, or we approved the contract for about 12 months, which is what we thought it was going to take to get the new generators in and installed. We had a little hiccup with the delivery of the generators. We changed contractors. It went on a little bit further, so we have an extra 6 months worth of rental that we owe to Charles Equipment for that backup generator. The total cost on that after we negotiated with them was $34,275, so the change order covers that extra cost.
Any questions from our board on the extra rental? Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's five.
Motion carries, the resolution is approved. 2 is a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with HVC Plumbing, which is doing business as Extinct Plumbing and Sewer for an emergency sewer repair at 233 Marshall in the not-to-exceed amount of $15,720. Is there a motion?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Being a motion and a second, Joe, we have discussion?
Yeah, so the resident at 233 Marshall had a sewer backup in early July. We went out for proposals from 3 different contractors. Extinct was the lowest proposal in the amount of $8,550. We approved that administratively, went forward with the work. When they started digging out there, they found that the village main actually had some compromised pipe in it. So we had them do a little bit more work while they had the holes open. They replaced about 12 feet of village main as well as 2 service connections at the main. So that additional cost was $7,170, which brings it over the $10,000 limit. That's why it's here before you today. So the total cost of the project was $15,720.
Any questions from our board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and the resolution is approved. 3 is a resolution authorizing the execution of a contract with Primistar Mechanical Services to install 2 6-inch black iron tees and 6 6-inch valves on the evaporator at John Street Ice Rink in the not to exceed amount of $12,500. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
You have a
Do
motion.
I have a second?
Second.
Being a motion and a second, Joe?
Yeah, so the evaporator is a pretty vital component of making ice in our ice rinks. It actually takes heat out of our brine solution and uses ammonia to do that, and then it sends it back under the coils and it makes ice, all right? We have some ammonia leaking into the brine solution, so what we were trying to do here is to isolate 2 portions of the evaporator to find out where this leak was. So we've actually done this work. The work was $12,500 to get that work done. I'll come back to you next week with a change order for some additional work that was a result of this. But for right now, we're looking at approving the original $12,500 contract with Primistar to get those valves and isolate that system.
And I think this is a bigger conversation. This is that we are going to have and have had with some of you individually. In 2017, we replaced the rinks at on Jefferson. We didn't do anything at John Street. John Street is quickly showing its age. This is an example of that. We are in discussions with contractors on what a replacement of that ice will look like. Currently, the numbers are eye-popping, and so we're doing some internal analysis on what is an appropriate number for that. This is an emergency project just to keep the rink going, but I think we need to start thinking in the next year or two what a full replacement's going to be, and that would be a significant capital improvement project.
Any questions from our board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and the resolution is approved. Under Recreation, we have a resolution ratifying the execution of an emergency purchase of a new pool heater for the Water's Edge Aquatic Center from Halogen Supply Company Incorporated in the not to exceed amount of $22,567.30. Is there a motion to approve?
You have a
Do I have
motion?
a second?
Second.
Being a motion and a second, Sean.
Yeah, during the annual drain and clean at the Water's Edge Aquatic Center, we found that the heater that supplies heat to the main pool, had failed. That heater was original to the building and needed to be replaced. Staff reached out to the village manager about going ahead and moving forward with that purchase. And that's what we did, and now we're seeking your approval to do that.
Again, this builds off the conversation we had previously. We know the pool needs some repairs. We did the survey, and at the direction of the village board, we decided we're going to keep the pool for its current use. And so we did that with the warning that something's going to go out, and this is it. So that happened, and frankly, I'm going to be able to sleep better knowing that the heater is now going to be replaced here.
Any other questions from our board?
No.
Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and the resolution is approved. 2 is a resolution authorizing a facility usage license agreement between the Village of Bensonville and 200 by 85 LLC. Is there a motion to approve?
You have a
Do I
motion?
have a second?
Second.
Being a motion and a second, Sean, would you like to discuss this?
Yes, the first resolution I had, I was spending some money. The next 3 resolutions here will be making some money
You
for
hear
the
that, Joe?
Recreation Department. We've got the World Hockey invite coming back to the Edge, November 1st through November 3rd of 2024. Total revenues will exceed $35,000 for this agreement. This is a 1-year agreement.
Any questions from our board? Call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries, the resolution is approved. 3 is a resolution authorizing the execution of an ice arena and facility uses license agreement between the American Hearing Impaired Hockey Association and the Village of Bensonville. Is there a motion to approve?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Being a motion and a second, do we have discussion?
This American Hearing Impaired Hockey Association's been with us for over 15 years. They run a week-long hockey school in June. They are moving into their 52nd year, I believe. They approached us and wanted to extend their agreement, which we previously had a 4-year term with them. We are now extending this for another 4 years. The rate is good. They love the building. $26,000 per year over the next 4 years.
Any questions from our board? Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and the resolution is approved. 4 is a resolution authorizing the execution of an ice arena and facility usage agreement with the Fenwick High School Hockey Club. Is there a motion?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Being a motion and a second, do we have discussion? Sean?
High school hockey is very popular in Illinois, and we're lucky to have Fenwick High School contract with us. They do almost 5 hours of ice time on Sunday nights, typically pick up some other scrap hours throughout the course of the year. For the 1-year agreement, we're looking at revenues over $66,000. They are interested in a longer-term agreement with more time. Unfortunately, at this time, we don't have that time to give them.
Any questions from our board?
No.
Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
Motion carries and the resolution is approved. A couple presidential remarks. This Friday, August 16th, the village will host this year's movie in the park featuring Wonka. The movie begins at 8 p.m. Various snacks will be available for purchase. Bring your blanket and folding chair and enjoy this family-friendly event. For more information, see the village website. Also check the village website because weather might be a factor for that this weekend. 2024 Fall Community Yard Sale begins on September 5th and runs through September 8th. Residents need to complete an application to obtain a free permit, so please see the village website for those details. Beginning August 24th, the Coffee with the Village President and Village Board meetings will begin. This is a casual neighborhood meeting, and it is a great opportunity to ask questions and get village information in an informal setting. The coffee events run from 9 a.m. till 11 a.m., weather permitting. So please see the village website for more details. That will conclude my presidential remarks. Do we have village manager's report?
Thank you, Your Honor. For those of you who are here, it's hard to miss, but the Village Hall parking lot is under construction. It is a construction zone down here in downtown, so please just use caution. We hope to wrap that project up over the next couple months. In the meantime, parking is available in the lots to the north of Village Hall. And as previously mentioned, the Aquatic Center is currently closed for maintenance. Pay attention to the village website for when that will reopen. We want to make sure everything goes smoothly. And then the issue of rodents has been quite the topic lately. We want to make sure the residents are aware that the village has been administering a rodent mitigation program since 2017. Information on that program can be found on our website. We want everyone to take advantage of it to try to get the controls in place. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
What's the cost of that program?
That is a free to the resident program.
Village attorney's report.
I have no report.
Is there any unfinished business to come before the board tonight? Is there any new business to come before the board tonight?
Seeing none?
Is there a need for executive session?
There's none.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
You have a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Fry?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Pena Cola?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 5.
The motion carries. We are adjourned, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.